Hey, hi, hello. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back to another one of my rambly videos, and I hope it kind of makes sense like my other videos. I hope they make some sort of sense. Today I will be working on my granite pullover, and we will be talking about going back to basics. So I've been thinking about this a lot actually, both at work and with crocheting, well, with my 9 to 5 and with crocheting, that going back to basics um, is actually very helpful, especially for me. So I rarely show it, but every so often I do go and I watch other people's videos on stitches just to see if, for one, if to make sure that I'm doing it correctly, holding my yarn in a comfortable way, holding my hook in a comfortable way, or if there's a way that I can actually improve the way my stitches look. And going back to basics is a good, for me, it's a great way of resetting and relearning, because I don't want to get into bad habits. I mean, into more bad habits, because let's be honest, a lot of the time I do crochet hunched over like this and it ends up wrecking my back after a while. And if I go with some projects, I do hold the yarn super tight. So with my temperature blanket, I'm holding that yarn super tight because it's prone to splitting. Um, my wrists end up getting quite sore. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, and I'm sure there will be a lot of tangents through this video. I also apologize for my voice. I was out at a Christmas party the other night and my voice still hasn't fully recovered. I mean, yesterday it was super squeaky, so uh, yeah, now it has somewhat recovered. It is croaky, but it is not squeaky. So we're getting there. Um, so yeah, what else I like to do is work on. I like to try out little granny squares with different hooks, but using the same yarn. So, for example, I've got a bit of a show and tell for you today. So I've got these 3 granny squares. I don't know, this one is slightly different yarn to these 2, but these 2 are the exact same yarn, but with different hooks. So this one was with a 2mm hook, and this one was with a 2.5mm hook. I didn't put a note on this one, okay, but I don't know if you can actually see what this looks like. And then this one as well. So I quite like doing this because look at how close together these stitches are. They look so neat and so tidy. And same with this one as well. But you can tell that there's you can tell that there is a difference between the 2. But this is what I'm trying to say, is that I need to learn my hooks and learn my yarn as well. I've said this before. I'm definitely not the most professional crocheter or the most experienced crocheter. So going back to basics will help me improve on that. And then this one is the shiny yarn. So this one was also, I think, with a 2 or 2.5mm hook. Um, and by going back to basics, it is a way of ensuring that I have the correct technique. Well, number 1, the correct technique for crocheting, and number 2, the correct technique for me, because we all crochet differently, right? So I hold my hook like the knife grip, but other people hold theirs from underneath, so the pencil. And I have tried to do this, and I can't. I'm very impressed with people who can do that, because my hand just feels all backwards and my brain just glitches. Whereas the knife grip for me is, I don't really have to think too much about it. And that is another thing as well, like sometimes going on autopilot. Again, this is all for me. This is all for me, and I'm not judging anybody about how they crochet, because crochet is personal to us, right? Our hobbies are personal to us. So I'm not going to judge anybody on how they crochet. But sometimes for me, going on autopilot isn't great, because then I'll either lose count, or the yarn will split and I won't be able. Then I need to try and fix it, or all these things happen. But sometimes I like to be very mindful about the stitches that I'm doing. I mean, I say all that now, but I'm kind of going on autopilot now, which is because I'm talking at the same time, instead of my usual just listening to a video or a series or an audiobook or something. Oh, excuse me, I very much apologize for that. See, right there, did that one wrong. It's supposed to be a front post treble, not a front post double. So there we go. So again, I apologize. I took notes the other day about what I wanted to talk about. So yeah, so this also, I mean, I say so a lot, don't I, when I'm trying to get to the next point, and I need to work on that. I need to work on how I speak. I need to work on, actually I need to work on a lot, but let's not get into that this morning. It is far too early for that train of thought. Yeah, back to basics, different hook sizes. So this leads me on to swatches. Now, when I'm creating something for myself, I don't swatch. Really. I mean, I should. And when I say that I'm working on something for myself, I mean that I've come up with an idea, and I'm not following a pattern. This is all my creation, all my idea. I'm just going with the flow. Which I should swatch, and I kind of for my holiday favorite cardigan, which I'm sure you've all seen me posting about, which is finished and it is hanging just there, by the way, but you'll see it at some point. With that, I wish I'd done some swatches with the yarn, because the whole idea of me doing it, my plan was to make it an oversized and baggy cardigan. It didn't come out like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the way it's turned out. I think it's gorgeous. I'm so proud of myself for this design and the way it looks. I'm just staring at it right now. I love it, but my initial idea was that it was going to be oversized and baggy. Now, if I'd done some swatching or some swatches and tried out different hooks, maybe it would have come out like that, but it didn't. But that's fine, and I love it the way it is. I think one of the main things for me is learning my size as well, and learning my size in different yarn weights, and that is a big thing as well. But again, that is going back to basics and learning. For a fitted jumper, how many stitches do I need in fingering weight, in DK weight, in worsted weight? I mean, I rarely used worsted, but those are the things that I need to learn. And going back to basics means learning that and making sure that all my stitches are done correctly. And another example, when I chain and we have to then work into the chain, I am so bad at working into the back bump because I can barely see it, which means I need to then work on my chaining. So there's always ways for me to be improving and getting better, and I highly encourage people to do that. Yeah, I highly encourage people to go back to basics because I think we can always improve on ourselves and always get better. And then maybe someone is doing a single crochet differently to how we normally do it. And maybe that way would actually work for us, right? So that is always my thinking behind it. Literally, right after I say I need to work on that, I say, good job, good job. But I have an idea for next year about roughly around this topic. And again, honestly, one of these videos I should do an counter and a sew counter. Seriously, what is happening right now? I do have an idea for next year. So I've got quite a few plans for next year about what I want to do, what I want to accomplish. I don't want to talk about it too much though, because no doubt I will say, oh, I want to create 6 blankets in 2 months. That is unrealistic. I don't want to set unrealistic goals. I also don't want to put it out into the universe that I'm doing something and then not get it done. Because let's be honest, we as crafters and crocheters and knitters and whatnot, we tend to get distracted by new patterns quite easily. And I'm trying to give myself space to do that and not feel guilty about that. But anyway, yes, I do have plans for next year. So there was just literally a huge gap of silence. This is one of the problems with me doing these crochet and chat videos. I get distracted by the stitches and forget what I've just been saying. All in all, I do like to go back to basics. I like to relearn and make sure that I'm doing it correctly. I don't even know if I'm doing these front post trebles correctly. So this is what I mean. I think for me, especially, going back and doing the basics is great because I can just ensure that my stitches are correct and they have good definition and they look good and they look pretty. And I can find the right yarns for me because I'm still working on that as well. I don't know. I like a whole bunch of different yarns. I just fixated on what I was about to say and I was incorrect, so apologies. I need to understand my body size because I mostly make clothes and blankets. I mean, how am I making clothes if they don't fit properly? I need to know how much stitches measure on different hooks with different yarns. If that all makes sense, and I hope it does. I hope this video has made some sort of semblance of sense. So thank you for sticking around for my rambling and my ums and ahs and so's and yeah, you. Thank you for sticking around and watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everyone who has stuck with me and has watched my videos. Watched my videos. I really appreciate all your support and everyone who has subscribed. It means it means so much to me. So thank you very much. And I hope you'll have a great day, night, weekend whenever you're watching. Um, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.